Alright, now for feedback. Sean, love you, buddy. No, we haven't interacted much recently, but you know, from what I remember during our time in theater together, you were always a good guy, and I'm happy to help you on this project. The type of philosophy that you're discussing here, it really isn't for me. Maybe I'm just a deeply cynical, bordering on nihilistic, however you pronounce it, individual, but, well, we did just elect a truly vile human being into the highest government office we could possibly give him, again. And doesn't do a lot to raise my faith in humanity when, you know, you see what kind of vile, disgusting person that is. But let's all connect and get together. I'm not sure I want to connect with those kind of people who would happily vote for that person. It's human psychology is a mess, and I think it is unfair to say that we just need to connect, because some people are just incapable of connecting, whether through their own limitations as far as personality, or perhaps they have mental neurodivergent, I believe is the term we use these days. I myself struggle with depression, and I have ADHD, so so is it truly someone's fault if they can't connect because their brain just won't let them? Also, I've seen numerous research reports on human psychology that all of us believe that we're some kind of main character. We all are exposed to, again, something newer generations say, but main character syndrome. And if we're all the main character, then none of us are the main character. Main characters are great for stories. You know, I'm a writer. I love writing fiction stories. But, you know, maybe that philosophy, maybe that mindset, maybe that ancient genetic programming is truly messing up humanity beyond our ability to connect with, quote unquote, the funk, as you like to refer to it as. And I would like to believe that humans are capable of moving past such things, but I don't know. If we're so willing to vote for somebody just simply based on what the price of gas is doing, regardless of all of the other aspects about this person that we may find despicable, disgusting, and truly vile, But hey, if this person can bring the price of gas down, then what the hell? Maybe, maybe your philosophy is very hopeful, very aspirational, and very, I don't want to say, I don't want to say naive. It's not naive, but I just don't know if humans are capable of it. Humans as a collective. Some humans can, and they're wonderful human beings who can realize that we're all just on this crazy ride called life together, and at the end of the day, what does it matter what our bank account is? What does it matter what does it matter, how many cars we own or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know if humans, it would have to take a massive change in consciousness. It would have to, just be such a dynamic shift in what makes a human being to even achieve this, collective waking up. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen. People might see this and dismiss it at, oh, he's just jealous of rich people, or he's he's too cynical, or and that's fine. Those reactions are normal, because one of the great and terrible things about human beings is we have to continue to hope. But I think what we hope for also matters. A lot of us just hope for, a bigger bank account. So even though we are aware of the problems of the world, we want to be so rich that those problems of the world, they don't affect us. They don't matter to us. They don't affect our comfortable lives. So, yeah. But anyways, like I said, Sean, love you. You're a good guy. But this type of philosophy that you're espousing, I'm sure it works for you, and if it does, I'm happy for you. But it's not for me. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways, good luck on the rest of your project, and I'll talk to you later.
Hi, my name is Gregory Corron. I am here to offer peer review and feedback for pages 231 through 240 of Sean Pendelbar's Funk Treatise. To start off kindly and with what I appreciate from the piece, I think the concept of vice visa vera vocum is actually very interesting. I like it as a tool to help us conceptualize the totality of our existence up to a point and plot out a roadmap of how to use that. How to, I guess, conceptualize our own existence. I find it really interesting. I think it is cool to add those extra axes to the idea of vice versa. and mirroring. I don't exactly agree with it being yin and yang plus time. I do not think those are equal concepts, but I do really like it, and I think vice versa visa vera vocum fits very snugly within the idea of the funk, which to give a third thing that it is sort of like, I liken it to, say, a terroir in winemaking. Beyond that, though, I have to say that I am not a huge fan of this section. I appreciate existentialism and even absurdism, and I think it is often a very nice safety valve for when we get too locked into maybe the grim realities of life. It helps us take a step back and decompress and take away meaning from everything. But unfortunately, I feel like most of this piece falls into a type of existentialist philosophy that I personally loathe. For example, I am not a fan at all of Ram Dass. I think a lot of this piece unfortunately fits into the type of philosophy that preaches about being engaged with the present moment. However, it is doing that by doing little more than oohing and awing at the infinite. I think my biggest complaint with this piece is the amount of words thrown into quotations. The point of a treatise, I personally believe, and theses and things and words, is to use them, is to create definitions, and there's simply too many points within this piece where basic concepts like die or even exact answer are unnecessarily thrown into question. It sort of tells me, I find when an author does it, it tells me that they have no confidence in their own ability to define and use those words and bring meaning to what I'm reading. And in a sense, they sort of kick that responsibility off to other writers and other people and tell us, well, just think of what you know in the world and how people use that word. But also at the same time, it casts doubt on that usage of the word. And I just find it to be a little intellectually lazy.